Hey guys, this is JJ Andy and welcome to today's webinar on DEX versus centralized exchanges. Okay, I think most of us are already aware from yesterday's news that Coincheck has just recently been hacked of a hefty amount of $523 million. And so today we felt that it's really important for us to just address, what's the difference between DEX and a centralized exchange, and really just give some of your certain tips, in order to really secure your tokens and at the same time be safe when it comes to trading. All right. So DEX versus centralized exchange. Now, what is the main difference between DEX and centralized exchanges? So I did some research on it, right? And it's really interesting because DEX is something that's up and coming. It decentralized exchanges, and no one actually controls the token per se. So this is the comparison that I made. Okay, DEX, which is decentralized exchanges, right? So a decentralized exchange is an exchange market that does not rely on a third-party service or to hold the customer funds. Now, basically, there's no custodian of your tokens, right? The custodian is not the decentralized exchange, but it's between the buyer and the seller. So that's something very interesting, because when you transfer funds into a centralized exchange, say Poloniex or Bittrex, for instance, or even Binance, what you are essentially doing is that you're sending tokens to them, and they will have to manage it for you. So centralized exchanges are easy to use, very easy to access. In fact, on Binance, you have an app on it, you have KuCoin, you have an app on it, and so it's really easy to use it, right? And their interface are usually much more easier for you to use. And they provide advanced trading functionalities like margin trading and others. In Poloniex, in fact, we do have lending over there as well and margin trading. So I think that's the interesting part when it comes to centralized exchanges. But that also brings along a security risk, because you are basically, when you transfer funds over to them, the exchanges are so-called liable for your amount, okay, for the money you put in. And that actually is not. Why? Because you're sending money to the exchanges and you're assuming that they'll be keeping it for you properly, right? Without all the hacks and whatever not. So that is the concern here. And in fact, Coincheck was a 532 million loss. Our just latest news from Japan Times. Bitfinex is 72 million. Mountain Gox hacks, which is the iconic one, which most of people would know, is the $390 million lost. And this amount of money was hacked. Okay, so you could end up losing all of your money if you put it in the exchanges, because there's no government backing. Remember, the problem in cryptocurrency, the pros and the cons are both that it's decentralized and it's deregulated. It is both the advantages and the disadvantage. There's no one securing it. You could possibly get no insurance of the money that you put in the exchanges. So remember, moving forward in cryptocurrency trading, you are liable and you're responsible for your funds, and you determine where it's kept. So that's really very important. Please understand that part. So when it comes to the DEX, right, you're not required to trust the security and honesty of the exchange, since the funds are held by you in your personal wallet and not by a third party. So to put it in a simpler way, you are basically liaising with the seller. It's a buyer and seller issue, and you basically trade it accordingly, right? So based on the seller and the buyer's price. Privacy. So on top of that, the users are not required to disclose their personal details to anyone. There's much less of KYC needed, and your personal details to anyone except if the exchange methods involves bank transfer, which is where the KYC comes in, or in which your case, your identity is revealed only to the person that is selling or buying from you. So in that sense, DEX gives you a certain layer, of security. But with that being said, there are certain pros and cons when it comes to DEX and also the centralized exchanges. Okay, so one big portion of it is the centralized cons is that there's exchange control funds, all right, not anonymous, because anyone would know who you are. This KYC needs to be done, so they could actually they know who you are basically, all right, and that's the kind of like a risk. The hacks and server downtime, right? You understand that when for instance, right, I mean, some of you who are using Binance, you realize that, hey, at certain times you couldn't use the apps. At certain times, even the software, the desktop itself, the interface is not there. It's not loading. There's either server downtime or even DDoS attacks on Bittrex and other users and other exchanges. So with that centralized exchanges, you gotta understand that there will be downtime whenever there's huge traffic coming, there's huge volume coming in. There will be this issue. Now, this is the scary part here. Now, I'm not trying to spread any FUD or anything. Okay? That's not what I'm trying to do here. We are just here to really educate the public on how to really do this properly and understand cryptocurrency properly. But when you understand that when you put your funds into the exchanges, they are not liable for it. They could just lose it, or they could just shut down the next day. All right. And with that being said, if they were to shut down, all your funds could be lost as well. So to that certain extent, you have to be very aware of how much are on the exchanges and how much tokens are you or have you secured in your wallet, cold wallet, private wallet. Alright, so please understand that part is really crucial. Now, when it comes to decentralized, and it's the pros here, right? Why is it good? Now, user control funds, right? You control the funds. And that's the best part. You can remain anonymous. It's like a Monero, like a Zcash, where it's privacy, it's darknet. No one knows who you are. There's no hacks or server downtime because it's just between you and the buyer and the seller relationship. There is no third party handling that transaction for you. All right. Cool. Now, the next portion, which is the pros and cons, right? Why centralized is much better than decentralized right now? Now, it's because it's easy to use. There's more advanced tools. There's liquidity. Now, when it comes to decentralized, it's not easy to use. Some basic features, there could be no stop losses as well. There's no features like that. There's low liquidity. Now, having said that, decentralized exchange, not many people are using it. One, not many people are aware of it. Two, not many people are, taking the proactive actions to transfer your money from centralized exchange to decentralized exchange. So that's why it's a chicken and egg issue. With low people using, virtually less people using it, you have low volume, right? With low volume comes low liquidity. You have no buyers and sellers, and no demand and supply enough for that, and therefore there's less trading pairs, or there's less tokens that wants to be featured on the decentralized exchange. So it's much like a chicken and egg issue, right? But the whole idea here is, do you want to be secure, or do you want to be... Okay, so this is the whole idea here when it comes to security. It's either you want security... Alright, gotta put my hand within the webcam image, right? It's either you want security, alright, or you want convenience. So if you want convenience, you are giving up on security. If you want security, you have to give up on convenience. So it's a chicken and egg issue once again. You have to give up on one of it. But in the long run, decentralized exchange will be here to stay. It's up and coming. And there are much more developments, right? Kyber Network, in fact, is one of our CG hot picks, right? And they're developing something on that as well, on decentralized exchange. And this could be the year of decentralized exchanges. It could get really, really big when people realize how important it is to secure your tokens. Okay? Now, what if you have your account being hacked? Okay, and you're really scared about your account being hacked, right? I mean, look, none of us wants our account to be hacked. And there are many, many ways to try and secure your tokens, right? So what I'm going to do on my next slide, the last slide of today, is just to really share with you certain tips on how to secure your tokens. Okay, so this is my point of view on how to secure the tokens. In fact, you want to keep to these tips, right? So that you won't lose so much money when it comes to a hack. Now, when you are being hacked, right, the first few questions you ask yourself will be, number one, why did this happen? Two, why did this happen to me? Three, what am I going to do now? Okay, it's a classic question that everyone will ask when you're faced with a big crisis and issue. So first things first, right? Do not leave more than you can lose on any centralized exchanges, even on DEX itself. Forgot to mention that part. But you can only put that amount that you're willing to lose on the centralized exchanges. Look, if you are just starting out in cryptocurrency trading, welcome. Okay, this is crypto land. This is Wild Wild West. Anything can happen. All right, magic miracle can happen. You can have unicorn money. You can buy a Lambo the next few days. Right, that's what all the new beginners believe and come in and believe that everything will moon more than 58% a day. Come on, right? They need some realism right here. But here's the thing: if you leave more than you can lose on any exchanges, here comes the issue, right? If let's say anything were to go through the exchanges, be it a DDoS attack, there's a lot of downtime, you couldn't execute your trades, there were short squeeze, certain trades are closed without you knowing, and in fact, accounts are being closed, right? And that's the last hurt of centralized exchanges. I heard that some of my friends, Bittrex accounts are being closed, right? So here's the thing: if you want to safeguard yourself, then at least secure 50% of your portfolio in your private wallet like Ledger or Trezor, and a desktop wallet like Exodus, and stuff like that. You need to learn how to secure your tokens even before you learn how to trade. I have emphasized this so many times, and when people ask me, hey, Andy, I got $500, I got $5,000, I got $50,000 that I want to invest in the crypto market, what's the first step I need to learn? And then the only thing I will always say is learn how to secure your tokens first. Right? Don't even care about which exchange, don't even care where you can buy. Secure your tokens. Learn how to do that. Go and research on all the wallets, cold wallet, hot wallet, warm wallet, right? And whatever, cold vault, you name it, right? Paper wallet, anything. learn it first, and then subsequently learn how to then trade your tokens, right? How to put it onto the exchanges. That's the next thing that you should be thinking about after you learn how to secure. Now, the third point is no exchanges are liable for your funds. None. Alright, remember, it's a decentralized, deregulated industry. It's a market that no one knows what's going on. So the fact is, you are liable, you are responsible for your own funds. Remember that. So be proactive in transferring funds to a safer exchange. This is the one. Okay, now there are a lot of, I would say there's a lot of rumors, right, spreading around most of the time, saying, hey, KuCoin is gonna it's closing soon, Bittrex is facing a lot of issues, Poloniex is facing a lot of issues. Now, I'm not against any exchanges here, right? And I'm basically using Binance and a few other accounts. But here's the thing: when you heard of something like that, there is an exchange FUD, right? And you want to be safe. The whole idea here is you need to start learning and you need to start being proactive in shifting funds from one exchange to the other exchange. Whichever that is safer, whichever has more reputation, whichever has more user base, that could be a consideration as well. Okay? And their tokens basically need to have a certain utility. Like Binance token has a utility, right? And the exchange itself has a way to make money. Bittrex, for instance, has a higher fee, and that's how they make money, right? And exchanges have to be motivated to have a certain portion that they could make money from, and therefore they are not as interested in your funds. Does that make sense? So they have to have a business model that is self-sustaining themselves, and therefore they will not be interested in, say, example, closing down an account or just taking your funds over. So this is something that I really look at when it comes to an exchange. You need to have something that's stable. You need to have something that's a history behind it. Now, of course, when we talk about history, not many exchanges have a lot of history, say 5-10 years. So you need to be really proactive researching the histories and understanding them. Okay, understanding the exchanges. Now, the last one that I would say is crucial, is like a constant maintenance that you need to do, is you need to find out the updates on DEX or the exchanges that you're using. Be in their Twitter, be in their community, be in somewhere where you could find out information on the exchanges. I mean, that's really, really crucial, because sometimes you miss out on the information and that could just cost you a lot of money. Okay, so here's the thing: when it comes to community, what we have built up in CG right here in Crypto Grinders channel is that we have enabled a lot of people, we've empowered a lot of people, we have built up two big houses of community, which is our legacy and our premier good on Discord. And in fact, we are 2 days left with to sign up for the group itself, and we'll be closing on 29th of January midnight at Singapore time, and we will only be opening next month onwards, okay, for the next intake. So here's the thing: if you want to be in a community that's helping each other, that's cohesive, that at the same time you receive the best information, the best crypto knowledge that you need to, or even outside of cryptocurrency market, how do you learn to diversify into other commodity assets? How do you diversify into different kind of assets, to hedge your account? You will only be learning this within the Discord channels. We will not be talking about it in any of our channels here. We will only be covering in our Discord, in our Discord group. And at the same time, we will have voice channels every Sunday, to do a quick market roundup and to share with all our group members, our people in the community, how to actually craft a perfect, I wouldn't say a perfect, there's no perfection, right? How to craft a solid portfolio, that you could sit out of most bear market, right? And many people have said, right, before they join the CG Discord group, their account dropped by 50-60%. And I think some of you, I'm reaching out to those of you here, right, that are looking at this video, when there's a bearish market and your account is dropping by 50-60%, you lose sleep, you cannot even handle that emotionally. Well, there's something you need to do about your account, right? Basically, you're holding 20 to 30 tokens more, you're holding on to stress, and you don't exactly know what to do. This is the group for you. Okay, so I'm gonna post up the link below in this YouTube video, so take a look at this link particularly, and all the instructions are all inside, the testimonials are inside as well. If you have any questions, do email to info@cryptogrinders.com and let us know if you need any assistance to that. We will be here to help you out. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you will like it and comment on it. Anything, let us know, and do subscribe to our videos. Do join in our Telegram group and our Facebook group for more information and up-to-date information and knowledge. All right, and I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. So take care, everybody, and be safe on all exchanges. All right, and be proactive in safeguarding your assets, because cryptocurrencies will be here to stay for a while. All right, so see you guys. Bye.